Well, it's official. Either the Dodgers will win the 2024 World Series or it will be the most excruciating World Series loss of all time. Sure hope it's the former. They are well on their way. Let's get locked on Dodgers.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Dodger fans, this is Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks to our everydayers for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen every weekday morning. And thanks to those of you who are with us live here on Monday night after the Dodgers defeated the Yankees 4-2 in Game 3 of the World Series. Remember, this show is free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube simply by searching for Locked On Dodgers. So please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening right now. If this is your first time with us, my name is Jeff Snyder. My co-host is Vince Samperio. Vince was at the game in New York tonight. He is in an Uber on his way to his hotel right now. He will hopefully join me a little bit later in the show, kind of playing that one by ear. Vince and I are both lifelong Dodger fans, just like most of you. We've also both spent time covering the Dodgers in the press box and the locker room. So we bring you the smart fans' perspective on our boys in blue every weekday morning. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. And the Dodgers ran their game here tonight, beat the Yankees 4-2 in Game 3 of the World Series. It was 4-0 until 2 outs in the ninth inning when Alex Verdugo hit what ended up being a meaningless 2-run home run. Felt everything's magnified in the postseason. It didn't feel meaningless at the time. We hoped it was meaningless, but that Verdugo was the 9-hitter, so him cutting the lead in half with Torres, Soto, and Judge coming up. Stressful at the time. Luckily, Michael Kopech was able to get Gleyber Torres to ground out, and the game was over. And the Dodgers now up 3-0. No team has ever come back from being down 3-0 in the World Series. Only one time in the postseason has a team come back from being down 3-0. That was the 2004 Red Sox coming back against these very Yankees, highlighted by Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Back then, he was Red Sox pinch runner Dave Roberts, and sparked the comeback in Game 4 that led to the ultimate comeback. The Red Sox then won a boring World Series over the Rockies, sweeping them and broke their curse. Who cares about them? The Dodgers are up 3-0, and yeah, you really like your chances when you're up 3-0. That's all you can hope for after 3 games, to be up 3-0. I said all along, I'm rooting for a sweep, and I don't know if I thought it was realistic. I definitely thought it was more realistic than a lot of people thought it was, because I do believe the Dodgers are the better team. It's hard to sweep any team. You have to be a lot better to actually expect a sweep. I don't think the Dodgers are enough better than the Yankees to go into the series expecting a sweep, but I definitely think the Dodgers are enough better than the Yankees to absolutely expect the Dodgers to win one of the next 4 games. Hopefully it's the next game. Just get this over with. It would be Garrett Cole again in Game 5, probably a Garrett Cole, Jack Flaherty rematch in Game 5. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. Hopefully the Dodgers win Game 4. And we're going to talk in the last segment today probably about what the Dodgers pitching plans might be in that game. The pitching plans in this game seemed very clear. Arginus asks, has a World Series sweep ever happened? Yeah, there's been 21 sweeps in the World Series out of 119 World Series. They showed an interesting stat tonight. 24 teams have gone up 3. Dodgers now the 25th team to go up 3-0. 21 of the first 24 ended in a sweep. That's pretty crazy. Dodgers, statistically, the Dodgers have a 87.5% chance of finishing this off in Game 4. We'll see what happens. But the Dodgers pitching plan in this game seemed pretty apparent that they decided they were not going to let Walker Buehler face the Yankees lineup, the top of the lineup, a third time. I think if you had told them before the game, Walker Buehler can give you 5 scoreless innings, getting through the lineup twice, they would say, yes, please sign me up, and no complaints. And that's what they got. And you could tell by the way the conversation went with Buehler in the dugout and everything that was the plan. And it's a plan that I agree pretty solidly with. Buehler pitched absolutely great. He had good, his stuff looked really good. It didn't look like 2024 Walker Buehler, who would occasionally have a good start, but you could tell he's kind of nibbling, whatever, getting a little bit lucky. This looked almost vintage Buehler, and the stuff was there, the swagger was there, and the command was there. That's a big thing. And so, but you don't want to press your luck. And I think it was the right call that they made the decision to only let him face each liner or each batter twice and then get him out of there. And it worked out perfectly. You would have thought maybe since they were up 4-0, maybe you let Buehler try to get through the top of the lineup again, get through the sixth inning, because if he got through the sixth inning on relatively few pitches, they could have even kicked around the idea of him going back out for the seventh inning against a weaker part of the lineup, and trying to really save the bullpen for the bullpen game. But as far as win this game today, I think it was absolutely the right move, and I loved it. It's crazy that this could have been Walker Buehler's last start as a Dodger. It's his last start. He could pitch. I guess he would be lined up to pitch game 7 if it went to game 7. Hopefully it's not going to game 7. And so assuming it doesn't go to game 7, this is his last start of the year, and then he's a free agent. And we'll have all offseason to talk about the ins and outs and what should they do, what should he do, what will they do, all that. But, right now, as a Dodger fan, as a Buehler fan, it was kind of a little bit emotional for me anyway, to kind of watch him walking off the mound after the 5th, assuming he was done, and just kind of realizing next time I see Walker Buehler pitch, it could be in a different uniform. I don't know. Like, it's going to come down to, I think the Dodgers would love to have Buehler back on a 1-year make good deal, or even, a 2 or 3 year deal with an opt out after the first year or whatever, kind of give Buehler a chance to reestablish his value. I think that's something he might be interested in, because overall this season he was bad. And I don't know if teams are going to give him a huge contract based on a few good postseason games. And so he might need to make good, to prove it, to bet on himself, whatever cliche you want to use. At his age, he can't really afford to do too much. I'm going to throw my headphones on because my buddy Vince just popped in. So I am going to change this background and add Vince, I think. I got to click that button too. Hey, Vince, how you doing?
I'm mute. Yo, made it.
I'm glad you made it. Yeah, we're just wrapping up this first segment talking about Buehler and how he looked awesome, and this might have been his last start as a Dodger. We'll have all off season to dig into that, but you know what? Let's that's pretty much all I want to say about Buehler. So maybe we're just going to wrap up this first segment. Vince, just as far as logistics go, I'll go ahead and do the ad reads. You click the buttons for me, and we'll call that good. So we're going to come back in a minute. We're going to talk about Freddie Freeman. We may talk a little bit about Fat Joe and Ice Cube since Vince is here now. But either way, thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen, and please keep it Locked On Dodgers. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. And in addition to football, you can also bet on baseball stuff. And I was looking at the odds after this game 3. The Dodgers are now minus 2,300 favorites to win the World Series. As I said earlier, if the Dodgers were to lose this World Series, it would be the first time a team ever did that. And so, yeah, they are favorites. Along those same lines, Freddie Freeman is a minus 1,900 favorite to be the World Series MVP. The next closest Dodgers are Edman and Betts, both at plus 6,000. Probably don't want to bet on any of that. I guess, it's hard to picture anybody other than Freddie winning the MVP at this point. But there are a lot of things that are a lot closer that you can bet on, baseball-wise, football-wise, whatever you want to do. So you will get started with $150 in bonus bets. Remember, if you win your first $5 bet, where is that? That's at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Hey, we are back. Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen. Thanks for being here with us live tonight after Game 3. Remember, you can go beyond the podcast and become a Locked On Dodgers insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. You can be an everydayer by watching and listening every weekday morning, or watching every night before every weekday morning, because we are live most of the time. Even in the off season, I assume we'll do a lot of live episodes. We'll have to see. We haven't had an off season since we went into the let's do a bunch of live episodes mode. So who knows what'll happen? But right now, until the World Series is over, we're definitely live with you after each game. Remember, for your second listen, check out Locked On MLB, hosted by our buddy Paul Francis Sullivan, aka Sully. And remember, you can catch every pitch of every Dodger game on SiriusXM or the SXM app by searching for Dodgers. You can listen to the Dodgers broadcast, which has play-by-play by Steven Nelson, who was our guest on last night's episode. Thanks again to Steven for that. Vince, it was kind of funny that I had Steven Nelson on as a guest when you weren't here with me, because you've known Steven for years. And, it just worked out that you were on a plane, and it worked out that he got to New York in time to be able to hop on with me. We had a lot of fun. He did talk about you. I assume you got a chance to listen. He said nice things about you.
Yeah, definitely heard that. I was looking forward to seeing him at the game today, but I didn't. Sometimes we don't always cross paths because I'm up, he's down, I'm up. But I'm sure I'll see him tomorrow. He's
a great dude. It was a good episode, I think. So So I guess let's talk about the elephant in the room. I don't know if Fat Joe qualifies as an elephant.
Not anymore. Ozempic Joe.
Yeah, Ozempic Joe. So I wasn't going to talk about this if it was just me, because I don't think anybody needs a 47-year-old country music fan's opinion on Ice Cube and Fat Joe. And also because Ice Cube's performance I didn't hear because I was at my son's game. So I had my laptop muted until the game actually started. And Fat Joe's performance I didn't hear because I came home with a headache and I decided to doze on my couch until the game actually started. So I didn't see either of them, but according to social media, and you were in person for both of them, Vince. So according to social media, West Coast is the best coast.
Yeah, definitely for this. It wasn't even close at all. I've been to Dodgers. I mean, not Dodgers. I've been to Yankee Stadium twice, and one was a regular season game in 2016 as a fan. The other one was obviously this Game 3 of the World Series. I couldn't have told you the difference in the crowd noise those two games. It was obviously Fat Joe didn't help hype up the crowd before the game, because I feel like Ice Cube really hyped up the crowd in that game, and then the crowd kind of carried that momentum into the first inning for whatever that matters. But they were excited and hyped, and Fat Joe's performing, and I always feel like if I'm am I in the wrong spot? Am I missing what it should be? But no, I don't think so. And if social media said the same, then the vibe was probably the same around the stadium. And then the Dodgers got on the board in that first inning, and they took the crowd out of this game. The crowd was never in this game until Verdugo hit that 2-run homer, which obviously makes sense. But by then, it was probably 60% of the actual crowd there, because a lot of people had left. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't want to talk smack about Yankee fans, because who knows what kind of fans were actually able to afford this game. But I definitely had way higher expectations and was a little disappointed, even though you were down 2-0 after the first inning. It's a World Series game. You guys, 2-0 is a bloop and a blast. It's not like it was 10 or anything. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, or a walk at a blast, as we saw in the ninth inning. 2 runs is not insurmountable for a team of the quality of the Yankees. So yeah, but let's talk about that first inning, because Shohei Ohtani walked on 4 pitches, which was an interesting approach by Clark Schmidt to, hey, we don't know if Shohei Ohtani can swing a bat. Let's not throw him give him a chance to prove it. Seems like if you're ever going to attack Ohtani, it would be when he just hurt himself 2 days ago. But he walked, and he ended up coming around to score. He didn't have to run hard. He just got the jog when Freddie Freeman hit a home run for the third straight game in this series, 5th straight World Series game overall for Freeman after homering in his last 2 games of the World Series in 2021, tying George Springer's record. Love to see him break that record, since George Springer set part of that record against the Dodgers. Let's get that one off the books. Freddie Freeman, like I said in the ad read, he's basically locked up World Series MVP at this point.
Yeah, that's a wrap. I don't even. like maybe there's no one close enough to him to where they have like a 3-homer game in game 4 that they still wouldn't catch him in the sense of not just the home runs, but how impactful they were. Like obviously the first one was a walk-off. The second one was to add another run. It would have ended up being a close-ish game. And then, the third one was a home run that punched the Yankees in the mouth at home. Like it was very easy to say, yeah, score early and take the crowd out of it. But that literally was what you needed to do in order to keep the momentum going. And that's what Freeman did. Like that after that homer, it was quiet. The Yankees never really. I mean, they didn't have a hit till the 4th inning. They had a couple threats here and there, but obviously some of them didn't work out. So yeah, like I said, even if someone hits 3 homers in game 4 and the Dodgers win, that's still not enough to pass up Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ask, I'm interrupting our own conversation. Vince, did you do something different with your beard today, or is it the hotel lighting? Because that thing looks marvelous tonight.
I think it's just the lighting and a little bit lighter black shirt.
Okay, yeah, because it's like it's glowing and all wavy and everything. That thing looks a good looking beard. I'm a little bit jealous. All I can do is basically this. But yeah. So Freeman, obviously the huge blast, and then the Dodgers were able to tack on. It wasn't the prettiest game for the Dodgers. They missed a lot of opportunities. The umpire took at least one run off the board when he called bases loaded, ball 4 on Will Smith, strike 2, and then Smith ended up grounding out. There was a very close play at home plate that I think if Gavin Lux had been called safe on the field, that call still would have stood. It was just one of those, the call's going to stand no matter what happens. But all in all, like, really the Dodgers offense was done pretty early. They scored the 4 runs. They got a big bloop RBI single from Mookie Betts, and then a huge RBI single from Kike Hernandez. And then it was up to the bullpen. And, like I said in the first segment, Dodgers' plan was clearly to not let Walker Buehler face the top of the lineup a third time and just trust the bullpen. And, I guess we can, now that you're here, Vince, maybe we could talk about that, like that approach with a bullpen game. We know it's a bullpen game of some sort on Tuesday for game 4. And you kind of wondered, would they push Buehler a little bit farther? But seems like they were intent on, no, we are going to win this game, because realistically, winning the game to go up 3-0, they didn't technically win the World Series, but this game was a huge swing, just like in counts when an umpire misses a call and instead of 3-0, it's 2-1. That's a big difference. 2-1, the pitcher feels like he's still in the count. 3-0, pitcher's out of the count. And it's the same way with the games in the series. Like this game, I kind of loved how they just put their foot on the gas and said, no, we're going to win this one for sure, and then we'll worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, I forget who it was, talking pregame on the field, and that's what we talked about. Like, not that game 3 is more important than a game 4, but yeah, game 3 was kind of more important than a game 4. Like, if you have a chance to win game 3, you go all out to win game 3, and you have, at the very least, you'll have arms to cover a game 4 with Honeywell, Casparius, and Knack. Like, even if they all go 3, they all go, whatever it is. Like, those 3 guys could cover a whole game realistically if you want to. How well they would cover it remains to be seen. But, you want to go up 3-0. You want to go up 3-0, and however you get it. And, there was obviously they stayed away from trying in. Ryan Brazier in the 8th inning was against the top of the order was one of those where you're like, all right, cool, let's see how this goes. And, it ended up working out. And then, Kopech gets it a little closer there in the 9th. But, regardless of all that, it was – this is the game you want. Now you need to win one of the next 4. Like, obviously, we hope it doesn't go that way, but winning 1 out of 4 is a lot better than winning 2 out of 3. Yeah,
absolutely. It's got to be demoralizing for the team that is down 3-0. It's like, if they weren't hyped for this, like, I've been looking at prices for the game tomorrow. Prices are dropping like crazy, because the best case scenario for a Yankee fan is, we stave off elimination for another day. Like, it's hard to pay $1,000, $1,500 to go see that. So, it might be a Dodger friendly crowd tomorrow, because there might be a lot of people like me who are currently sitting at home, a couple thousand miles away from New York thinking, how low are tickets going to get? Let's look at flights. Could I be there tomorrow night? And we might see a Dodger-friendly crowd.
Yeah, I talked to a handful of people throughout the game, Dodger fans, and a lot of them were like, we only came for game 3. But they're like, well, if the Dodgers win, I think we're going to have to make arrangements to
Change your
stay for
flight,
game.
buy
Like,
a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to stay. So, I do think that I would say that there was more Yankee fans at the first 2 games at Dodger Stadium than there were Dodger fans at this game. Oh, overall, I know there was good little pockets here and there, but it didn't matter because Dodger fans, like, I knew the Yankees were, well, not the Yankees, the team, but the Yankee fans were out of it I think when they scored the 4th run, when Kike hit the single, Dodger fans started a "Let's Go Dodgers" chant, and Yankee fans didn't even try to drown out the sound or retaliate or anything. It was just, okay, these guys are saying "Let's go Dodgers."
Yeah, that's always good, and I'm sure the players hear that in the dugout too. That, hey, look, we just stole their momentum, we stole their edge, and let's keep it going. We're going to come back and we will talk a little bit more about what the Dodgers might do for the pitching plan tomorrow in Game 4, and we may start prematurely discussing weekend plans and all of that. So thanks again for being with us, and please keep it locked on Dodgers. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, we are back. Thank you again for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen or your last listen, as the case may be. Thanks to our everydayers. Thanks to our insiders. You can become an insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. Text directly with us, one-on-one conversations, get our thoughts, our behind-the-scenes stuff. We didn't get any behind-the-scenes stuff sent over to the insiders today, even though Vince did send me some stuff, but I was busy doing things for Dodger Yard, and so, but we did have some batting practice videos that, hopefully tomorrow before Game 4, we'll be able to send some stuff out to our insiders, so be sure to check that out. Also, remember, you can catch every pitch of every Dodger game on SiriusXM or the SXM app, and check out Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Sports Los Angeles on YouTube, 2 24/7 streaming channels from the Locked On Podcast Network. Locked On Sports LA is where you can find the Locked On Dodgers postcast hosted by Pete Fox after pretty much every Dodger game, which will hopefully only be one more time this year, because Vince, the Dodgers are up 3-0. They're going for the sweep on Tuesday evening, and it's a bullpen game, but we've seen multiple flavors of bullpen game from the Dodgers this postseason. It's tough to tell which kind of bullpen game we will see. A traditional bullpen game, try to use like the one against the Padres where they used seven or 8 different pitchers to get through that game. But like you kind of hinted at in the last segment, they have Landon Knack, Ben Kasperius, and Brent Honeywell, all of whom are starting pitchers. Probably none of them are built up fully like starting pitchers. Honeywell is probably the most built up right now just because Kasperius and Knack haven't pitched a ton. We don't know what they've been doing in their side work as far as bullpen sessions and stuff. But I assume if the Dodgers chose to, and if the offense allowed it, they could get through the game with just those 3 guys. Although I think you and I both agree that Blake Trinan should be the one to pitch the 9th inning. If the situation allows, just for the symmetry of letting him close out all 3 series. But what are your thoughts? Who do you think is starting or opening this game tomorrow?
I think it's Gratterall or Brazier starting. Probably Gratterall. That's who they went to the top of the order. Obviously, he didn't get through the inning, but that's who they went to for the top of the order. And then I think it's Kasperius next, just because he's a guy that has had the most success so far this postseason. and maybe try to steal 2 innings there, and then kind of play it by ear after that, depending on what the offense has done. So if they can get, maybe Gratterall has a really efficient inning and he can get 2. Like if you can get 3 or 4 innings between 2 pitchers that aren't your most high leverage arms, and then you can kind of play it by ear. Okay, we have runs, let's go for the kill. We don't have runs, let's kind of keep going step by step and see what happens. I gotta imagine that's kind of what they're thinking.
Yeah, they have, pretty much Kopech threw a lot of pitches, but with a day off yesterday, I would assume Kopech's available. Trinan's obviously available, has had 2 days off. Vesia threw 1 pitch on Saturday and then faced 1 batter here tonight. Bonda only faced 2 batters. So, they didn't really have a ton of guys throw. I guess Daniel Hudson, I assume he threw a lot of pitches since he seemed to have been under the misunderstanding that you have to go to a full count on every hitter. But, Hudson is not the end of the world to be. If you're going to have somebody unavailable, might as well be Hudson or Brazier, I guess, even though Brazier did pitch really well. But yeah, when you look at this, like, I do like the idea of going with Gratterall to start this. Gratterall, like you said, he has experience as an opener. Obviously, he gets a lot of weak contact, doesn't get a ton of strikeouts, but I like that idea. And really, it's going to be up to the offense because, and we've said that so many times this postseason, and even the times that we've been wrong, it's still the way they have to approach this because a bullpen game, you go into it assuming you're going to need to score 6 runs to win the game. And so the offense, and especially after seeing how they can take a crowd out of a game, they might as well get 3 or 4 of those runs in the first inning and give Dave Roberts a whole lot of flexibility in what they want to do on the pitching side of this game.
Yeah, the offense has dictated a lot of this postseason in certain times. Obviously, the pitching has helped back in dictating other things some of the times. But, yeah, ultimately, it's not one of those, if you have a chance to win, you go for the win. If you are in a game or if you maybe go down a couple runs and you kind of play it by ear, because you don't want to compromise yourself for one game when you only need 1 of 4. Like you don't want to compromise yourself that way. So I think that's kind of the way they would approach it. I haven't been on Twitter, but confirming they're not going with Cole on short rest, the Yankees.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about Cole. Obviously, I've been in here for the last 28 minutes, so I haven't seen anything. I'm just scrolling right now to see. Yeah, that would be interesting if they did.
Boone talked right after the game, so I don't think so. But
yeah, I guess we can't both be scrolling since one of us is supposed to be talking. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I agree with you that if they're down by 3 runs, they are going to go with the Brent Honeywell, Ben Kasperius, and Knack route for sure. Because not to punt the game, but because you do only have to win 1 of the next 4, and your chances, it would make the most sense from a reliever usage standpoint. And yeah, I guess these bullpen games are always interesting because you can learn a lot just by they decide who the opener is. Although the one that threw us off was that one against the Mets where we thought they were going bullpen game when they went with Brazier, and then they went with Landon Knack for the second inning, and that didn't work out. Maybe it would work out better this time. I still think Landon Knack, I kind of feel
the funny part is we've talked a lot about it, but going into this, I would have preferred Landon Knack to be the 4th starter. Like I was fine with him being the 4th starter, and I still think he would be fine. But it was just a bad timing.
Yeah, and that was kind of my other thought. Like with them being up 3 games done, do they just go with the traditional start? Hey, Landon Knack, you are our starter for game 4. Go throw 5 innings or 7 innings, whatever. And if he pitches poorly, make him wear it a little bit. And if he pitches well, awesome. Maybe he can beat out Freddie Freeman for World Series MVP. Probably not. But yeah, I wonder if they might change their calculus that much. I think the looming threat of Garrett Cole in game 5, though, maybe because even though, like, if you lose game 4, then you face Garrett Cole, and then it's like, well, do you want to give the Yankees a chance of getting back to 3-2 and have to send it back to LA, all that stuff? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, there's again, if the offense can just put up, Luis Gil starts, if the offense can just put up 5 runs in the first 2 or 3 innings, and it goes one way.
Yeah,
absolutely. I see the comment. It almost bit me that first game because I was like, oh, here goes the Dodger offense after I just praised them, but it all worked out.
Yeah, Vince has been less pessimistic all offseason or postseason. Not offseason yet. Offseason starts tomorrow night after the Dodgers win game 4. Then it's Christmas season. Have you heard anything official? Have they about what tentative plans would be if they were to have a parade in LA?
I got to imagine if they win one of the next 2 days, it's going to be Friday. I don't think they would wait all the way till – they usually don't do weekends, so I don't think they would do all the way till next Monday. But.
All right. So I'm already I'm mapping out my road trip to be there Friday. I've never been to a World Series parade, and since I don't care about other sports, I've never been to a championship parade. So I am looking forward to it. I'm here. I knocked on some wood for a technicality, but Dodgers are going to win this series. We're having a parade. Bottom line.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Vince?
No. I at this point, I want the sweep. Like, it just everything becomes better because you can talk smack if you have Yankee fan friends. The Dodgers obviously won the World Series, and there's it'd be like the perfect way to go out. So go ahead and end it.
Absolutely. If assuming the Dodgers do win tomorrow, I will be solo after the game because Vince will be performing his jobly duties by getting sprayed with some more champagne in the Dodgers locker room. Hope you brought the right shoes again.
Yeah, I got the clinch fit ready.
Nice. But one way or another, we will be here with you tomorrow night, either to talk about the Dodgers being the World Series champions or talk about us having to wait another day. Hopefully it's the former. That'll do it for us for today. Thank you all for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen, or in this case, your last listen. Thanks to our everydayers. Remember, you can become an everydayer by watching and listening every weekday morning. You can become a Locked On Dodgers insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. Check out Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Sports Los Angeles over on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Locked On Dodgers. Vince is on Twitter at VinceSince91. I am on Twitter at Snydog. Both of our DMs are open over there. You can also email us, lockedondodgers@gmail.com, or send us a voicemail or a text message to 323-863-LOCK, 5625. We are here every weekday morning, and we hope you'll be here with us. When you get in your car or sit on your couch, tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Dodgers. And remember, you don't have to agree. You just have to listen. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good one.